If you're looking for a red letter day in international diplomacy, you might want to circle October 30th on your calendar. That's the day world leaders gather in Rome for the Group of 20 annual summit meeting. And that day, or the next one, might, just might, be the occasion for the most important one-on-one meeting in today's world, a face-to-face meeting between American President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping. These are the two most powerful countries in the world, obviously, and that makes their presidents the two most important leaders. More than that, this meeting, if it happens, will mark the culmination of a slow and very carefully choreographed effort by the Biden administration to engage with China. First, it's important to note that this meeting is not a sure thing. It hasn't been scheduled, and White House officials say they're still pondering whether they want it to happen. But National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan several weeks ago said nothing is planned, but also noted pointedly that both leaders will be at the G20 meeting in Italy. What's particularly interesting about this prospect is the way the Biden team has tried to build toward it step by step. Even while President Biden has met with other world leaders, including Russia's President Vladimir Putin, he's been slow walking his way toward this particular encounter. The strategy has been to avoid fully engaging with China until some steps have been taken to get America's house in better order so the high-level dialogue could commence from a position of more American strength. So the administration's strategy has been to first try to get the coronavirus under control, get economic growth back on track, and push through legislation to improve America's infrastructure, all steps designed to show China that the U.S. is going to deal from an improved position when discussing the wide range of economic, trade, and security disputes that now hang over this relationship. Though clearly the coronavirus pandemic hasn't gone away, the administration may think enough progress has been made on all these fronts to step up engagement now. Among other things, the U.S. and China have to re-engage at some point on trade and figure out whether those tariffs imposed during the Trump years will remain in place. Of course, there have been some contacts between the U.S. and China already, though the tense nature of those may only illustrate how important it is for these two leaders to get together. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Sullivan met Chinese counterparts in Alaska in March, where those Chinese officials complained that the U.S. had no right to lecture China on its behavior and its human rights practices. Then, more recently, Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman met Chinese officials in China, and that meeting was contentious as well. She complained about China's crackdown in Hong Kong, human rights abuses against Muslims, provocative actions near Taiwan, and cyber attacks. And Chinese officials in turn complained that the U.S. is trying to turn China into an enemy and to blunt its rise in world power. So maybe that environment suggests the time isn't yet right for the two leaders to meet. More likely, it shows the need for them to do exactly that.